Hello, everyone. I'm very excited today. In fact, it's an honor and privilege, today to have a very inspiring lady with me. She's none other than Aarti Gupta, Surendranath. She's got so many feathers to her hat that I don't know where to start and where to end. To just name a few, she is a producer, an actor, a model. She also is a rescuer and a feeder of stray animals. And she's doing so many other things, which I cannot put it. It's actually a saga, not even a story which I can talk about her. It's truly an inspiration to have her on this show. And welcome, Aarti. It's such a privilege to have you with me today on this new episode. To begin with, Aarti, I'll get right down to it. I want to know, how did uh, content creation and the world of film, happen to you? Was there some kind of moment that sparked this journey in your life?
Hi, Siddhant. Thank you for having me on your show and taking the time out to chat with me and share part of my life's journey with all the viewers. Um, you jump straight to the question. Okay, I like it, starting a little backwards. Content creation, actually, to go back a little bit on my life, I haven't planned anything about my life at all. I can't ever remember planning that, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go in this direction. So funnily, I've just jumped into things situationally, or just in the course of my life, things happen, and I was just managing whatever I had to at that moment. Um, Content creation is a very nice kind of a segregated name given now to define exactly that much. And as you know now, in coming years and the generations, we have to divide it because I come from an older generation. Today, everything is very segmented
Yeah.
and from where I come and from the times I come, everyone did everything. It
Yeah.
was a very wholesome kind of a job that took hold of everything. So you just took things, and I started modeling, and through that I met my husband, who's my husband today, and I didn't have really much time to meet him otherwise. I could only meet him while he was working too, because he was also extremely busy. So, in the flow of things, I got down to just picking up what was required about campaigns. I'd read scripts for ads, that is, I must specify, and just got down to figuring out that, okay, this is very nice on paper, but it's gonna look better like this. And I started putting my inputs in slowly. Of course, initially to have like a 15-year-old girl, pushing things and saying things, this should be nice and this would be better, and do the set like this and do the paint like this. It started off with visually creative things. Later on, of course, if you go back to the older commercials, the older ads, and whatever was available to see, be it movies, be it any kind of content earlier in the good old days, the creative was very, very much richer than it is today.
Yes.
It was tense, it was wholesome, it explained a lot, and it was very meaningful. And it just happened a lot more by instinct. Today, a lot more has to happen by what needs to be done, what needs to be done and what needs to be shown, and what else is not showing, or how to be a little edgier. And that's the saddest part, actually, how to forcibly be edgier, how to push things a little bit more so you get more eyeballs. Everything has become very transactional and result oriented. So the
Yes.
pressure of people creating anything becomes very, very, very intense. You can't even imagine. You can't just go out and think of something and do something. And hence you are seeing repeats and something's hashed. And honestly, there are times you look at things and you feel that, ah, this is what the critics had said about this film or this show. And you see a remake correcting that. So there's a
Right.
lot of corrections happening, and there's really nothing fresher or newer to
Right.
see. So I'm not a writer, but I can't let go of my old habit of putting my claws, digging my nails into everything and each and everything about creating things. So the visual impact, which meant costumes, colors, setting, a person's appearance, what kind of casting. I was the only casting director there was all through the 80s, through the 90s. I would see somebody, pick them up, choose them, decide and say, okay, this is the person. And we need to use this person. So that was content, the whole thing. Today, when you talk about content, viewers, if you're listening to me,
Mhm.
probably wondering what is she rambling about everything. But today, content would only be probably finally even narrowed down even more to only the script or only the screenplay or just the story. That entire complete thing is not how things happen today.
Right.
So gradually, by jumping into things and poking my nose into everything I felt needed some kind of change, I just got into creating things. And by the grace of God, uh, whatever was put out, whatever was created, definitely got recognized, definitely got noticed till this day. It's
Right.
not forgotten. So
Yeah.
you get encouraged, you get a lot of confidence, and you have a lot of faith in what you're doing, and you feel that you're kind of going to do something a little interesting. I guess that would answer your question.
Okay. Also, I want to know, producing is a very high stress job. I'm sure there were a lot of challenges that you faced during that time, and how did you overcome them?
Yes, producing is extremely, extremely stressful. Now, of course, there are so many contracts, there are terms and things that you clarify before, which makes things, it kind of steers you away from handling the day-to-day mundane rubbish that you'd have to dealing with people who come and say, I thought this was it and now it's this, or I wanted this and now I've changed my mind, I want this. So with contracts and with terms having been settled, it is a lot easier. The internet, of course, you don't have to go crazy scouting things, finding things as a producer. That has been much easier. Now you just have to, with everything available, it's also not very new or raw. It's not very novel. So you now need to sell that
Right.
to the producers, maybe the actors, maybe whoever is working on it. You need to promote that and figure out where you're right, where you're wrong. And a lot of times, sadly, so your judgment gets very dodgy about, okay, now what is going to be approved? And with one's experience and everyone's experience in the world, you've seen a lot of things that happen all around. You're actually, sorry, audience, you're probably my largest number of audiences on the podcast today, but there's 30 somethings who are judging and deciding, like
Right.
not even 40-year-olds, but it's that age group for some reason. I know everyone's understood that that's not the way to be. But in the last 10, 15 years, so much burden and pressure was put on that age group. Actually, had really not seen that much of life as it is. And their journeys were very streamlined because the education system had changed, become so stressful and so intense. They actually spent a lot of their time studying and
Right.
getting grades and reaching somewhere, attaining something. Their life experiences are not that much to go through every emotion and to come up with the right decisions. So
Right.
sometimes you are sitting across and wondering what happened. I'm trying to explain something. I'm trying to explain it the best that I can, but the person sitting across me is A, got a very small attention span, B, not listening, not understanding, and they don't know. So, where has what gone wrong? So
Right.
that is more challenging today than putting something together. And you feel that, I've got this kind of experience, I've learned this much, I've studied so much, I've worked on so much, I've delivered so much of my work. I would know considerably more. Why am I, kind of falling short? So that has been a challenge, of course. It has been realized that experience is experiencing, the um, experiments that have been going on and on in the industry has not left our industry,
Yeah.
Bombay film industry, the Hindi film industry, in a good place, as everyone knows. And I think that's because the novelty went, the freshness went, the stories went, everything went, just to put things together on paper and make them creatively. But the audience is growing, we're getting more and more spoiled and
Yeah.
pampered and refined, I would say. So they want to see more things. They want to see better creative stuff. They want to
Yeah.
see input every single person, not just some liners that have been hits and now we need to replay them. And so creative groups and teams have a very challenging job to do,
Right.
especially if they're experienced and they are somebody, because there's an immediate rejection that if somebody is noted or very big or very acclaimed, uh, I think a lot of the young kids want to put them in the relic space. No, we want something new. Eventually, everything just looks like those little games that they play. Those are the challenging aspects. And eventually turn around and see the product and what it's turned out to be. And you wonder how things have happened that way. So there are different challenges, very, very different challenges. Like I said, on one side, things have been explained, on the other side, it needs to settle.
I'm sure you have done so many projects, but there would be certain projects, which probably tested you very creatively and emotionally. Would you like to share something on that?
Um, each and everything. You won't believe it. One thinks something longer or bigger with something bigger and more giant, bigger stars, bigger budget can be challenging, but it's not so. Every little thing. Now, my experience inherently from the time I was very, very young, where you absorb everything, has been on ads, on telling a story in 30 seconds,
Right.
which became lesser, which became 15 and 10 seconds. Now I don't know what's happening. Now it's just green screen, the stars, because there are no models or supermodels. It's just stars or sports stars or film stars. So you've got to narrate that story in that shorter time. So we are used to, advertising people are used to that kind of challenge to put anything and everything in.
Right.
Having said that, I would like to talk about a film called The Mighty Heart, A Mighty Heart.
Right.
That's a film produced by Revolution Films and Plan B, which is Brad Pitt's production company. It's more known. It starred Angelina Jolie. Now, the story is about Daniel Pearl, the US reporter who got kidnapped in Pakistan, and he was beheaded on TV. Now, that was so challenging because we had two crews. We had a crew from the US and we had the production crew which came from the UK. We had our Indian crew and we were working on this extremely challenging subject with permissions for everything, visas, all the complications required. And then you have Angelina Jolie, who's a star, and Brad Pitt, who's in India. So, other than the production, which was executing things and getting things done, which I excel at, that film made me reach a point in life because it was an unending production. It was a non-stop shoot, and with things that went a lot beyond and a lot beyond just production and arrangements and stuff. And there was things just spilled over, and eventually I had to manage and handle a lot. Coming out of that production, I felt I could take on anything. There was a request from the producer director that they wanted it to be very real because it was kind of in the docu style. The docu style filmmaker might have been to bottom. They wanted the exact car to be flown down from Pakistan, the exact taxi which Daniel Pearl was kidnapped with, the exact same taxi driver.
Okay.
Could go on for hours and hours and hours and hours about the process. But I just want to tell you that I did it. I
Wow.
got that done. And what you're watching on screen is exactly the only thing filmed there is the actor who was playing Daniel Pearl. Everything was actual and factual.
Oh, wow.
So there were so many challenging situations and scenes on the film. And I did not say no to anything I could have. I didn't say no to a single thing because that became my personal accomplishment. I
Right.
don't succumb under pressure. And, I don't. It doesn't matter. If I need to do something, I first have to satisfy myself. And
Right.
I'm the worst, toughest taskmaster that
Right.
I've ever seen in my life. So for me, the best is just good enough.
Right.
After that, of course, before that, there were things many challenging. After that, my whole attitude about handling things is very different. Look, I got to get it done. This has to be done. And now I just need to figure out how to do it at best.
A woman in a powerful creative role, I want to know, according to you, how the industry has evolved, especially for women in today's time.
So, women are evolved, women are born evolved, and there's no dispute about that today. Never in my eyes. I think it's just opportunities. They need opportunities. Any kind of woman, actually. You talk about any woman, you give me any woman, and there is just so much to her. And I'm saying even animals, dogs, creatures, anything. There is something totally, totally, totally powerful and strong about the female race. Now, it's a threat. It's threat being a strong, dominating woman because it's not taken very well because originally meant to just, run a house, which is a huge job, produce children, raise them, and that's about it. You shouldn't have a voice. You should just be quiet. So I think that glass ceiling has been broken quite frequently, and a lot of very wonderful, powerful women before me along my time and to come on are going to make sure of that. And then it makes them have to work harder to prove them right, which they have. So, women directors, filmmakers, writers, at this stage, I think they're all at par. We don't really need to differentiate them.
Yeah.
The men and women are working at par. But when you see a product that has a woman very fiercely steering the creative hand, it's too obvious to ignore. That just turns out fantastic. So it's not accepted really wonderfully. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say all is great, all is fantastic. And no, it's not. But you find a way to handle it. After all, women produce children, sons, husbands, they live with families. You know how to handle things, or you have to know, or you learn to know.
Yeah.
And you just go ahead.
Okay. I believe, on in women empowerment, and it's very important in today's day and age. So I would like to know your thoughts on women empowerment in today's time.
Like I said, to me, every woman is empowered the day she's born a woman. All women are empowered. It's just the opportunity that they need to be able to show that they're empowered, and that is what they don't get more frequently. Put to test, you see some women who are from the worst poverty section. They are challenged so much. They have been challenged, their lives have been tested. They themselves come up with things. They are so empowered. They're more empowered than most people you can ever think of. So to me, it's not startling. It's not surprising. It's not something I don't expect. I see it. I just know it. But it's opportunities, and they never really come in the best way. They come in very difficult life, challenging ways, and women, kind of go over them. They just succeed. So to me, women empowerment is just for them to be given the opportunity to do what they can and to do whatever they feel, because women have a lot more of developed instinct, nurturing, harboring. There's a lot more. I think women give birth. They wouldn't want wars. That's the first thing about preservation, about life, about countries, about growth, about progress, about anything. There's got to be security and safety. And women somehow would firstly understand that priority, and going down to a list of many, many things. So women are inherently powered just by the way they are made. I think nature made women that way.
Yeah, truly said, very rightly said. Aarti, I want to talk about a subject, which is probably very close to my heart also. You're doing so much for animals, in terms of rescuing and feeding stray animals. I would like to, talk a little bit on your active role in terms of in this field specifically.
Thank you. I'm doing a bit, my bit, whatever I can, but not enough. I don't know if anyone can do enough. Uh, I don't even know. This is a very, very deep and intense topic, and it's all around us. I don't, and I've gone through my own growing up and my own evolving on that, and how to deal with the matter, how to handle it, what to do, where to yield results, because that's what matters the most. It's never enough. There are never enough. You can feed dogs, there are many more.
Yeah,
People are abandoning their babies. I don't understand that. People
true.
are ill treating animals in the worst possible case imaginable. I can't even talk about it, but everybody knows, everybody's on the net watching. There are little puppies harmed, damaged. Now, to start with, it's been in the last, I would say, 25, 30, 35 years. I mean, I've been rescuing puppies since I was a child. I would go crying home with little puppies and just cry and weep and feed them and do whatever I could right from that age, puppies, kittens. But today, when you go about to see, I think the actual thing that one can do, and we are collectively all trying to do whatever, it's just that the numbers are overwhelming. The numbers of everything. How many dogs and cats can you feed? You're being opposed by inhuman people, societies. For what? The dogs have not chosen to be born there. No animal has. They have the right to be there. The earth belongs to all of us. But there is cruelty beyond understanding. It's just beyond understanding.
Yeah.
And ideally, the government needs to step in. There needs to be a process to spay them, because they're being born, they get born in packs. And the poor things, they don't. people come to you and say, "Oh, this one was bitten." That was sure enough. The amount you see a human being walking with a packet in his hand and a dog sleeping. Place your bets. 99 to 1, that man is going to hit the dog for no rhyme. Just swing a bag that he has and hit the dog and walk off for nothing. So I'm surprised that dogs have not become violent and fierce and they don't attack everybody because of the way they are treated.
Right.
Now, um, so initially I was very aggressive. I would argue with people, fight with people, and there were the dog lovers and also animal lovers and the non-animal lovers, and it was just argument that went on in words. Gradually, I realized that we need actions, we need things to happen. So, with slow processes, trying to find out who does what, where is a genuine place, where do you, because we have to work also, everyone's working. Where do you stop your work and start working on another project altogether? It's a 24-hour job, and it's something the government has to do
Right.
really to do well. That's something which needs to be done. Firstly, the stray animals need to be neutered so that they don't multiply more. That's a simple thing. And they are helpless. There are no rules there. Human beings are walking all over the road, so there are no rules.
Yeah.
Dogs are getting run over, they're getting pushed over, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Now, they need to eat, they need to be fed. That's a basic thing. Now, other than that, the new thing that's happening is abandonment. For many, many years, I fought against and argued with people about importing. That ban should have been held many years. Still, they are being imported, animals from all over the world. Why? How can you see huskies in India?
Right.
How? And then they're abandoned, they're left on the road. St. Bernards, big dogs, every single big breed that these awful, unthinking people have thought of to buy for status or whatever. Obviously, from breeders without checking. Now that's another topic altogether about breeders. But they've taken those puppies and they've kept them, and then they feel a financial strain. They feel whatever they can. They felt that now they can't look after them, they can't keep them. They're children, they're babies. They just go and leave them on the road,
Yeah.
somewhere in a remote destination. You know, driving past in a car, I can see the eyes, and I only look at animals on the road. I can see the eyes, and I know when a dog has been abandoned. I'll stop the car right there and say, "Look, this is an abandoned dog. I can see it in his or her eyes." You know what? That, not being melodramatic, but you know what kind of karmic negativity mankind is compiling
Yeah.
to do this to these poor little creatures. That they don't know. They don't know what to do. They don't know what are right lights, what are roads, cars, signals, everything. They don't know all of that stuff.
Right.
They need to be fed. They are hungry. They don't know that animals are territorial. There are fights. It is such a huge, huge, huge situation and totally ignored. So
Yeah.
I sincerely bless all the angels who are doing their bit to look after animals in whatever way. I try to do whatever, it's just not enough. It's constantly just like a drop in the ocean. You think you have to do so much more, and then you've done so much. You know, it's your own, everybody, we're all spending our own money, all the feeders and
Yeah.
stuff. It's our responsibility. It's the responsibility of the powers that be. You know, you go elect MLAs, you talk to them, you discuss with them, you tell them that what are you doing about this? This is the dogs and cats, cows, donkeys. Donkeys, poor things, are so badly treated. What about the birds? What about chopping off the trees? The
Yeah.
construction. Monkeys in our beautiful forests living around our cities, wherever we are blessed to have this. They're being chopped off. Those places are being razed to the ground. Those poor creatures are displaced. They're coming to homes and they're being caught, put in cages, and taken away. So I don't know what has happened to mankind. I just don't understand anything of that.
Right.
This is not fair. Where's the sense of fairness gone? These
Yeah.
animals are, there are powers that be much bigger than all of us. Nature, Mother Nature, that has made those little creatures begin their life. They're born where they are born. Who are we to take that away from them so cruelly and so brutally, and then make them suffer? They keep them captive. The breeders, oh my God. You know, if, and I'm sure there is, if there is a really awful kind of place that everyone calls hell, do they not understand that that's where they're heading, what they're doing to those poor animals? They're little puppies, hormones, making them produce puppies upon puppies, kittens upon kittens, and handing them over to anybody who just on a whim comes in. You've got to be taught that you need to take a puppy. It's like having a baby. So the issues are so huge, they are so big. And when an animal gets wounded, they just left. There are not enough hospitals. There are now the one good thing that came out of COVID, maybe that was the Earth's conspiracy to do this, that a lot of people collectively came together. People who were helping animals, who started shelters, who started feeding, who started because hotels closed, restaurants closed,
Yeah.
dogs were on the road looking for what to eat, just basic survival. They just didn't know. They were just wandering in shock. That trauma was something else. At that stage, a lot of people, and we have joined people all over the country. I still feel this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're trying to do whatever we can, but at least we are a little connected, and we've got awareness. We've got people together, people who are really great, lovely people. If there's an emergency, there's a donation, spot donation. Whoever put whatever kind of money, we are putting that, and we are trying to do whatever we can to save an accident dog, or somebody who's been run over, creature's been run over, somebody's having a litter somewhere. So this was the good thing that came out of it. But something, it's not at all enough. I'm not even going towards the other animals, cows, buffaloes, elephants, of course, every animal. Our rule, mankind's rule on this earth, has only served mankind, that too not all. There's too much suffering in the animal world. There's too much pain, too much suffering, and they're enduring it with grace and dignity. And that is what is totally amazing. I go on for hours. You need to tell me when to stop.
No, I couldn't agree with you. Whatever you said is, so point on. I couldn't agree more with you. I hope people become more humane and things change in the future. I hope so.
For
So,
all the awful people, there are such dynamic, wonderful people. Sorry, this is emotional, but there are so many very, very dynamic people who are doing so much. And every time I even see it on Insta, or I even hear of something, sincerely, I pray for them that, you know, God bless you. Just may nothing happen to you, because you're helping so many animals, and you're helping so many people and so many creatures.
yeah.
It's There are great people also, the very, very good people who are doing so many good things. So we put our faith in that.
Right. Also, now comes to a fun segment. This is a rapid fire round to just answer quick questions and a quick answers from your side, just to know you more personally. So to begin with, vintage or modern chic?
Everything,
Okay.
both.
Both. Okay. One thing that's always in your handbag.
My comb, my hair is very unruly, so I have to keep it. Comb or brush, either of the two.
Okay. One color which lifts your mood up.
All colors, all colors. Each and every color is magical. I'm
Okay.
not being safe, but I mean it. I love all colors.
Most prized possession in your wardrobe.
You know, that's all material. I love all of it.
Okay.
No, nothing is most, more or less. I have my baby's clothes, one or two of them, small
Okay.
little ones. They're just kept. That's about it.
Okay. If your style had a song, which would it be?
I'm sorry, my style had a
The song. Uh,
a song.
yeah, which one would it be?
Ooh. Well, I think style, song, music, the joie de vivre of life is all in one package.
Okay.
So I'm limitless. I'm not going to go for one song or two or five or six songs. I would just like a happy, jolly, or a well composed song with great music. That's what matters. Great music, great lyrics.
Okay. Your go-to outfit for a last minute event.
If it's formal, it would be a sari.
Right.
If casual thing, tracks
Okay.
and
Okay. What would you prefer, a sari or a dress?
Like I said, if it's formal and evening in an Indian function, a sari definitely just beats everything. And yeah, if it's a casual thing and no time to get dressed, dress would be nice.
A style icon which you admire.
About a sari, a prototype kind of outfit. For me, it's the how eclectic is it? How edgy is it?
True.
How dramatic is it? Could be a sari, could be a trousers, could be a jumpsuit, could be a dress. It has to have an eclectic edge to it. Even my saris are not really just the regular saris. There's always edgy about it.
Got it.
That's what I edge. I like to put some infuse some fun into clothes because everybody dresses up. You have
Yeah.
to wear clothes to go out naked. But
Yeah.
to infuse something of yourself,
Yeah.
that's where the magic comes.
Yeah. What you correctly said, just bring out your personality. It, just enhances your personality. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Um, a style icon which you admire.
Ah, Cher and Madonna. For those who don't know, please put a picture of Cher and Madonna.
Okay. I think they're
They're
all time. They're all time.
oh, they're all time, and they to them fashion is not just it's that's what fashion means to me.
Right.
It's like wear something and have fun. There's enough to mourn about or grieve about or intellectualize about in the world or make a point and whatever. But just to be cool, just to be fun, just to dress up,
Right.
just to understand and give back to life. The
Right.
life is a lot more. And you go to do something creative. My
Right.
hats off to both of them. I love them.
Your favorite genre of music.
I must say I love classical
Okay.
and I love rock and roll.
And my last rapid fire question would be, what is that one motto that you stand by?
You just have to do it, whatever comes your way,
Right.
and do it your best.
Do it your best. Yeah. It's such a nice thing. It comes to the end of the rapid fire and the episode. Thank you so much, Aarti. It was such a fun chatting with you. And, it's so inspiring. There's so many things which you do. And I don't think, just I personally am so inspired today by just talking to you, So thank you so much for taking out the time and doing this candid chat with me. And wishing you all the very best in all the future endeavors that you wish to achieve. And yeah, thank you once again for this episode and this podcast.
Thank you so much, Siddhant. You are doing something great to yourself because people need to connect. People need to connect a lot more on a real level.
Right.
And it's nice. I've enjoyed all the things that you're asking me, all the topics you've touched with. God bless you. Just keep doing what you're doing and have a great time.
Thank you so much. Okay.